Hello, everyone, and welcome to Raising Remarkable Teenagers episode. And today we've got a brilliant expert. And as you can see, those of us who are watching on video, we've got Lesley there. And I'll let Lesley introduce herself, but not yet. But I'm going to say to you something about Lesley just before she introduces herself. I am so excited, yeah? First of all, I'm so excited because Lesley helps teenagers find a life and career that they love. Isn't that what we want for all our young people? That they will find something that makes their heart beat, right? That's what we like. So as always, my name is Angela Karanja from Raising Remarkable Teenagers. And over here, we always look for experts and information that will help us raise remarkable teenagers, because it's in each one of us as parents and educators to raise young people who have highly effective, young people who are highly effective so that they can face life confidently and comfortably and even conquer life and the challenges that it brings. So welcome, Lesley, today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. My name's Lesley. I'm a life and career coach for teenagers. My work is mainly with year 10s and 11s. And what I help them to do over 10 weeks is build a life and career that they will love and that they will be passionate about. It's so important when kids are at school that they have something to focus on in the future and some reason for studying and some reason for actually existing. And that's even more important this year.
Absolutely, especially all over the world. We know just obviously with the pandemic and the changes, the way the life has just bounced us, all of us in ways that we've never known before. I think you've got some beautiful, I mean, we are so lucky to have you today, because I know you're going to drop those gems for us, you're going to drop those snippets for us. And so just tell us, what would you, our parents here, they're always thinking, what can I say to my teenager? What can I do with them? How can I encourage them? What should I tell them? There's all those questions. And obviously you as a life coach, which is, I am so excited to have you, because like you said, and I go with that, I think every teenager, every young person requires a mentor, requires a person who they can model, and a person who they can who can motivate them. And I tend to use what we call the 3M model, which is model, mentor, and motivator. And I believe you as a coach, you're champion of that. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Jack Canfield trainer in the Success Principles, which is a methodology that we've been using for about 40 years now, and thousands of people, adults all over the world, have used it. But I've transferred that into a teenage program, because all the teenagers that I come across in schools, colleges and unis have one thing in common: complete lack of self-confidence and lack of self-doubt. And I think that's wrong. And the school system doesn't account for that at all. But what I'd like you as parents to think about is how you model your own behaviour with your kids, because all teenagers want really is to be heard and understood in a language that they will understand. So what I tend to tell a lot of parents who come in for graduation for my courses with teens is to have 3 things in mind and do a long list. Have it on the wall at home. And there's 3 things that you need to know: is what you want to be, what you want to have, and what you want to achieve in life. And start putting pictures up on the wall, because you have to, as a parent, lead by example. So it's about taking, first thing I ever do with teens and parents when I'm coaching them is to say, take 100% responsibility for your life, for your homework, and things like that. Make a list of all the things you as a parent could take more responsibility for. And I don't mean to be insulting when I say that, but it helps when you're talking to teens about this as well. And also for you to have a vision of where you want to go in the future. And then you can do this almost side by side with your teen. Get pictures on the wall. I've got kids who are looking at cars and houses and travel and all sorts of different things, to have something visual to focus on so that they can have some reason for living. And also for parents, the other thing I'd like to talk about is language with teens too. I was in school on Friday down here in Fareham, and all I heard for an hour was, I can't, I shouldn't, my mum wouldn't like it, I ought not to do that, I can't be bothered. Whoa. And sort of trying, and for you as parents and for the teens to change that language round. So if they're saying, like one young lady said to me, I can't do that. So if you could, what would that sound like? What would that look like? And change that kind of language.
Wow. Do you know the snippets you've just dropped? Just this weekend, I was in a panel of young people, because what we've done, we've got young people to come together to tell us how to parent, because we are filling the gap. Because we want to know, what do you want? How can we do better? And what are we not doing? And you know what, Lesley? You said about one of the issues that kept recurring with those teenagers. And remember, we were on a Zoom call, and they were from all over the country, that they were not connected to each other. One of the things they said, one after the other, is that parents need to demonstrate that they are achieving and following their own vision before they tell us. And I was like, oh yeah, we've heard that, but it was said with so much intensity, because the kids they were teenagers and young people. They were not afraid of airing this. And because I said to them, obviously your parents might know about this, but there's not going to be any repercussion, but we need to know what you guys want so that we can parent you better. And that is the one thing they kept coming back to us. Another thing they kept coming back to us, and you just said it, is language.
Yes.
And then the other thing you said as well is they want to be hard. Because some of them said, when we come to you with something, you rubbish it. You say, oh, that's not important. Of course, it may not be important to me, but it's important to the young person. And we need to make them feel that they are valued and they are heard. And when we don't do that, we miss that connection. So nothing else goes after you cut the disconnection. It's like a telephone line being chopped. You can talk as much as you like on the other side, but the young person won't hear. And for me, it was very surreal just hearing that from, live. Of course, I have done research. I read in papers. I know the statistics. But to hear a kid after another and another and another saying that, I was like, in fact, and it was on Facebook Live as well. I just said, parents, we need to listen. If we don't, and then the young people talked about some of the reason why they close down and shut down is because they don't feel heard. And then ultimately, some of them drop off the doldrums of mental health problems. And I was like, oh my goodness, we all need to hear this. So I am so glad that you said about being heard. And so carry on, so that I don't want to take this over. But when you said that, I just got excited. It's not something I planned to say, but I just got excited because you brought it up, and it consolidates some of the findings, the research. We some of the findings we had on Saturday. Wow.
Yeah, there's a couple of stories I want to tell you which are really important. One of which was at Havington South Downs College, and I went there to do a one-day boot camp workshop. And a young lady came up to me and she said, my parents and my teachers are insisting that I go to university and study business management. And I'm going, oh God, it's the kind of, it's a course for everyone who doesn't know what they want to do, as far as I'm concerned, because I teach in universities. So we did this, what do you want to be, who do you want to influence, and all that sort of thing. And she said, you know what I want to do? And I said, no, tell me. And she said, I want to be a gardener. I said, oh, God, tell me a bit more about it. And she said, I just love that, being outdoor in the garden and seeing things grow. She said, I know it doesn't earn a lot of money, but this is my passion. This is who I am. This is what I really want to do. I said, okay, well, you need to go back to your parents and say, I don't want to go to uni. I want to do an apprenticeship. And you need to go to them with a plan to say, I know you want me to go to university, but it's not for me. It wasn't for my son either. And so go to them with a plan, not just say, I want to be a gardener. Think about all the apprenticeships or the colleges that you could go to get some qualifications to do that. Go and do some work experience in your local nursery. Obviously not now at the moment, but this was last year. And then she wrote to me afterwards and she said, you have changed my life in 1 hour. I feel so motivated. And so everything that she did at school and college after that was channeled towards this new life. Now, the one thing I want to get over to parents is, please support your kids and your teenagers when they come to you with these, what you might think are wacky ideas. It's because in their hearts they're really, really passionate about it. So I would say to parents, please support your teens. And the other story I want to tell you is from a school in Southampton. I don't want to name it, but the guy came up to me and he said, you know what, my parents have always said to me that I'll amount to nothing. Oh, so a little bit on the stunned side with that one. And I said, so tell me about your family. So it turned out that his parents didn't do very much at all in terms of work. And he said, I really have these aspirations to do this and that and to travel. And I said, so where's your sister? You mentioned your sister. And he said, oh, she's in Australia. I said, okay. So he said, can you go to Australia? I said, yeah. I said, how about this? That if you want to go there and you want a completely new life and you want to make something out of yourself, why don't you get a little part-time job, save up, get a passport. When you're old enough, fly out to Australia, go see your sister, find out what's happening there, maybe even stay, get a job. He said, can you do that? I said, yeah. And it's planting these little seeds of inspiration in the teenagers, and that's my role, to pull out the passion and sort of get them on the path to do it. And all I need for the kids to do is to have these vision boards on the wall like I've got here, and really think positively about themselves and do what their heart and their passion tells them to do, with the support of listening parents.
Absolutely. And it's a great thing you've said that, because everyone and all the people, anyone who's ever heard me speak, know that one of the points I say to parents, if you forget everything I say today, I want you to remember that your children, your kids, your teens were given to you by life so that you can help them propel that life, not to constrict that life. And I say to them, ask yourself, in everything you do, are you a conduit of life, or are you a constrictor of life? If
absolutely.
Everything, ask yourself that. Because when you say to your young person, oh, you shouldn't do this, you should do this, and the life within them is propelling towards one direction, what are you doing? You're constricting that life. Is that your duty, to constrict that life? No one wants to be a killer, but most of us, we kill other people's dreams unknowingly. We do that. And it's a very sad phenomenon, because how many dreams, how many kids have, again, let me go back to the Saturday. One of the kids said that she was in her second year in uni, and they brought a program on TV, and they said how the kids were committing suicide because they were following the parents. Do you know the girl said, and they were watching with the mom, she said, I know how she feels. I know how these kids feel. Do you know, the mom
Yeah.
looked at her. She said to us, the mom looked at her. She said, what do you mean? And, you know, as I say that, I can feel heat in my head, because, can you imagine? So the mom said to her, what? Is that how you feel? She said, yeah. There's so many times I have stood looking outside the window of my apartment in university, wanting to throw myself over. Why?
No.
This is not what I wanted. This is for you. And that was a conversation that was opened because of a TV program that they watched.
Yeah.
And do you know what the man did? She said, this is it. It is not about me. It's no longer about me. It's got to be about you. Otherwise, I will lose you. And now the girl she's doing what she loves to do, which is performing arts. She has found a college for perform, and the girl is thriving.
Mm. And I think that's the important thing, because I'm a parent myself, and I have a son with Asperger's. And I came from an arts background as a classical ballet dancer, and then went into dance and drama and stuff like that. And I knew he was never going to be a footballer or a member of a team, or because Asperger's and ADHD kids and autistic kids don't follow that path.
Yeah.
But they do have a beautiful obsession with things.
Absolutely.
And his obsession was computer gaming and computer language. So instead of sending him to university, I sent him to a specialist IT college. Now he's into cyber security. He talks a language I don't even understand anymore. But it's his passion, it's his interest. And it wasn't mine, but it was my duty to grab hold of this beautiful human being that had been given to me and focus him in the right direction. And he's off doing all sorts of interesting things now. And that's the key for parents, is to help your kids not be a replica of you, but to be them.
Yeah, and then one of the findings again on that Saturday, the kids said, it's not about you, Mom. It's not about, because I asked them, tell me what I should, I'm a parent of a teenager as well. Tell me how we should respond to you guys not wanting to do what we are asking you to do, especially when it comes to career choices, life choices. And then, again, without dropping a heart, I tell you, they said, it's not about you. It's about me. And I was like, oh my God, this is getting overwhelming for me. And it was all of them. Just tell our parents, I wish they could listen. It's not about you. It is about me. And I think society has sort of produced what I call fake shame, right?
Yeah.
So that we decide this is how life is supposed to go. Anyone does not go in that way is it's like shaming our family. I mean, I don't know if there's a comedian I like her very much. She's called Gina. So Gina, she says very interestingly that I became ashamed to my family because from her background, if you're not a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you're the next option is you're ashamed to the family. But she's a top comedian, right? And that's what beats her heart. And she brings up, and when you think about that, you're like, why do we do that? who decided one
Yeah.
thing was more life-giving than the other? Who decided?
Yeah.
Hmm?
And I think for parents too, there's a couple of books I want to recommend for parents if they're up for it.
Yeah.
And one is the teenage version of Jack Canfield's book called The Success Principles for Teens.
Wow.
And I think it would be really handy for parents to get this book and not give it to the kids, because kids don't read anymore.
Yeah.
But actually to have those discussions with them, change the language,
Yes.
you know, and talk about them. And the other one is the one I wrote for parents, which is called The Ultimate Guide for Parents. And this has worksheets in it, which will actually help you have those conversations with teenagers in the language of listening to them and saying, so if you don't want to go to university, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to work inside? Do you want to work outside? Do you want to work with people, not with people? Are you creative? What's your best subject at school? And just start making lists all over the place. Put post-it notes on the wall or stuff like that, and start getting a picture, a vision of what they want to do. I have a vision board here, which includes, I want to visit Kenya, Nairobi, I want to feed giraffes.
I'm from Kenya, you know.
But are you? Look, this is kind of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some giraffes down here.
Wow.
I kind of want to hand feed them.
Oh.
And I want to go to Machu Picchu, and I want to do all sorts of things. And it's just having that sort of, so what do you want?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, I talk a lot about building a vision. Now you've got Lesley there, who is willing and wanting to show you how your young person can build this vision. And you'll be interestingly, I'm just obviously today it's not about me, but we're just doing a program, a 4-week program. And last week was the week they were building the vision board. But I want to talk about you because I want people to actually come to you. I like to give people and parents diverse options, because not everyone suits everyone. Some of my we link up with people in different ways. And I say to parents, whatever you do, make sure you connect with a coach, or make sure you connect your teenager with a coach. Just don't do life without a coach. And one thing I recommend and always say that all great leaders, and remember, parenting is leadership.
Yeah.
So all great leaders have mentors, they have coaches. There's no leader who can do it alone. And this is why I encourage parents, get someone, get some sort of training, get a partner, a supportive person. Because indeed, actually, this might sound as cliche, but it does take a village to raise a kid. And since we don't have villages anymore, we don't live in villages anymore, this is our village. Lesley is your next door neighbor. Angela is your another person, a person who can share a strategy here, a snippet there, a step there. That is what and we don't profess to know everything. We don't. I don't think anyone would, because that would be unacceptable, because no one knows everything.
Yeah.
Even with the sun, there is also the moon and there is the stars. So you're not everything, and none of us is. But make sure you find someone, and I would like you to connect with Lesley. And what I'm hearing is you've got very profound values that are very close to me as well. When you talked about the vision board, I'm thinking, yes, young people need to connect with you. Parents need to connect with you. So if you can just tell us how we can connect with you. Yeah, before I ask you for some final snippets and strategies, I would like you to tell us how we can connect with you. I am going to put the books you've recommended.
Yeah.
Put them on a link just below this, because this is going to go into our blog, and it's going to,
Okay.
so we're going to put it there, and you give me your link, and then parents can grab a hold of it, because we have to keep learning, we have to keep empowering ourselves, we have to keep progressing. And we might think we know everything because we are the parents, or we were young people, but it's so different. Parenting in the 20th, this 21st century is no joke. I said to
No.
that parenting teenagers now is championship level parenting. You can't play ground level football at championship level. No, we've got to grab those, we've got to up our skills.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will be failing our young people.
Yeah, there's no manual for parenting, is there?
Absolutely, there's no one, and that's why chatting with each other, having these conversations, is what let our bulbs go. You know, I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. And that's what we are here for. Yeah. So tell us, how can our people get grab a hold of you?
Well, we have a couple of Facebook groups that they can join. It's called Careers Leaders Parents and something else network. So they can drop me. I can't remember the name of it. It's so long.
We'll drop that link here.
I can drop that link in there. They can contact me via my website at Lesley Strachan Consulting and Training, or you can drop me an email at lesley@lesleystrachan.co.uk. We have Pinterest, we have Instagram, we have YouTube. So there's lots of different ways that you connect, but I'll put all those links in and drop a link to all, drop a link to all of that a bit later for you. But it'd be lovely if you could join the network and the community, because I'm forever dropping in, excuse me a sec, I'm forever dropping in hints and tips and various success principles. And even if you only practiced one, like E plus R equals O. So today you might have been watching E, this event. Your response might be to connect or not to connect. The outcome might be that you choose to do nothing, or that you choose to do something for your teenagers. But I hope and pray that you will do something, because I'm here for you. I'm here for your teenagers. And that is my purpose in life, is to help you and help teenagers get the life and career that they will truly love.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Just before you go, because I know you want to go to some other meeting, you're a busy lady. What I'd like you to leave our parents with is, we like strategies, we like some snippets, we like some steps on anything, something that they can practice this week.
What, for the parents?
Yes, the parents watching, so that something they can practice either within themselves, or something they can practice with their young people. Anything that you know that if you try this, it's going to make a shift.
Yeah.
In the way you.
And the most easiest thing to do is to start creating your I want list. And what you can do is you can use Post-it notes, or you can have it on your whiteboard at home, or your corkboard, whatever you want, and just keep putting little things up there, and your teens will wander across and go, what are you doing? And then you say, oh, I'm creating a vision for myself of where I want to go in terms of my career and travel and this and that and the other. And go, oh, do you want to have a go? Do you want to stick some stuff up there as well, or create your own and get them a corkboard, put it in their bedrooms, and let them start dreaming and thinking. How it's going to happen is not important at this stage. What is important is to have a dream, you know. And Martin Luther King was really good at this. He didn't say, I have a complaint. He said, I have a dream.
That's right.
Okay, so start, if you dream and you vision what you want to do, and then get your kids to do it as well, or just create that leadership role of these Post-its, or however you want to do it, so that they can see that you're thinking about how you want to be and what you want to have and what you want to acquire, you then act as the leader for your teenagers then, and give them the will, give them the power, give them the responsibility of saying, oh, I'm thinking of doing that. What do you think? What are you thinking of doing after college? Dunno. Well,
Yeah.
what's your passions then? What are you interested in? Music. Okay, so how can we help with that? You know,
Right.
so but the one thing I would say to them is, don't ever be at all negative with them and say, you can't do this, you can't do that, you ought not to do that. I'd like you to throw all that language out and replace it. Go, okay, so tell me how you're going to do that then.
Wow. So what I've heard from you, which is very interesting, is obviously the parents need to start being brave themselves, because for you
Yeah.
to step up and do that, it requires bravery. And it's after they start doing that and these little questions start popping up, then the young people can follow suit. Wow, that's the one thing I've heard from you. The other thing I heard from you is that no matter what they put up, don't be the one that rains on their parade. No, don't be that. Don't be that person who says you can't do this. You can't. Don't doubt for them. In fact, if you can't believe for them, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is, think of yourself as a farmer in a field at the beginning of the season, and you are planting seeds in the field. That is your role as a parent, is to plant seed and watch your children grow.
Wow. That is so profound. That is so profound.
Don't worry about them. They will find their way.
Yeah. And like I like to I don't know if you're aware of this Khalil Gibran's poetry. Yeah, it says children. Yeah, it says most of the parents know it. In fact, I constantly ask them to download it and read it again when they feel frustrated that things are not happening the way they want it to happen. I say to them, the poem says, our children are not our children.
No.
They are the product of life wanting to express itself. And obviously it goes on and on. It's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. And as you guys have heard, Lesley says, just plant those seeds. It's not your job to make it grow. You're a farmer. What does a farmer do? Just plant the seeds. You can cultivate on the side when there's a seedling up, but it's not our job to make it grow. It's not our job. There is life, there is a life. There is something that whispers to each one of our kids, grow, grow, grow. The same life that whispers to the flower to bloom. It whispers in your young person to grow, and it's there. And whether you see it happening or not, just like we don't see the seed, we don't know what's happening to the seed, but we know it will come out. We need to trust that system. We need to trust this life system. I am so grateful, Lesley, for this. I think we're going to have you again, because I don't feel we've exhausted everything. That I feel you've got so much to give, and our parents here and some educators here, we're always wanting these, these snippets, these strategies. We want to know. I love my readers and my listeners, because they're like sponges. They're always asking this. So I am so grateful, and we shall surely have you back at some other time. And I am so grateful. You're a beautiful, beautiful soul. And all we ask is that drop those links down here, and then my friends and fans will grab a hold of you, and then you can continue to share the wisdom that you have. We are so grateful.
And I'm so grateful for you having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone. And we hope you have a beautiful, beautiful time from my team and I here at Raising Remarkable Teenagers. We wish you the very, very best today and always. Bye.